Miss Learn, would you please summarize the book, The Return of the Taliban?
Definitely, Mr. Knowledge. The Return of the Taliban is a book written by Hassan Abbas that analyzes the factors that led to the resurgence of the Taliban in Afghanistan after their regime was toppled in 2001. The book provides an in-depth analysis of the Taliban's history, ideology, tactics, and strategies, as well as an examination of the role of the Afghan government, Pakistan, and the international community in the conflict. Abbas begins by providing a historical overview of Afghanistan, including the Soviet-Afghan War and the rise of the Taliban in the 1990s. He argues that the Taliban's ideology is rooted in a strict interpretation of Islam, and that their tactics have been shaped by their experiences during the Soviet-Afghan War. Abbas also notes that the Taliban's rise to power in the 1990s was due in part to the support they received from Pakistan, which saw the Taliban as a strategic asset in its rivalry with India. The author then turns to the events of 2001, when the United States invaded Afghanistan after the 9/11 attacks. Abbas argues that the Taliban were able to regroup and launch an insurgency against the Afghan government and international forces because of a number of factors, including the failure of the Afghan government to provide basic services to its citizens, the corruption and incompetence of the Afghan security forces, and the continued support of Pakistan for the Taliban. Abbas also examines the role of the international community in Afghanistan, arguing that the United States and its allies made a number of strategic mistakes that contributed to the Taliban's resurgence. These mistakes included a lack of focus on rebuilding the Afghan state, a failure to address the root causes of the conflict, and a reliance on military force rather than diplomacy and development. The book provides a detailed analysis of the Taliban's ideology, which is based on a strict interpretation of Islam and a rejection of any form of government or society that does not conform to their beliefs. The Taliban's tactics are also examined in detail, including their use of suicide bombings, improvised explosive devices, and targeted assassinations to destabilize the Afghan government and intimidate the population. Abbas also examines the role of Pakistan in the conflict, arguing that the country has provided significant support to the Taliban in order to maintain its influence in Afghanistan and counter India's growing influence in the region. The author notes that Pakistan has provided the Taliban with safe havens, training, and funding, and that this support has been instrumental in the Taliban's ability to regroup and launch attacks against the Afghan government and international forces. The book also highlights the challenges facing the Afghan government and the international community in their efforts to defeat the Taliban insurgency. Abbas argues that the Afghan government must address the root causes of the conflict, including poverty, corruption, and the lack of access to basic services, in order to win the support of the population and undermine the Taliban's appeal. He also stresses the importance of building a strong and capable Afghan security force that can take the lead in the fight against the Taliban. The author also emphasizes the need for the international community to take a more comprehensive approach to the conflict, one that includes not only military force but also diplomacy, development, and political engagement. He argues that the United States and its allies must work with regional powers, including Pakistan and Iran, to find a political solution to the conflict that addresses the concerns of all parties involved. Overall, The Return of the Taliban provides a comprehensive and insightful analysis of the factors that led to the resurgence of the Taliban in Afghanistan. The book is a must-read for anyone interested in understanding the complex dynamics of the conflict and the challenges facing the Afghan government and the international community in their efforts to defeat the Taliban insurgency.
Thanks a lot, Miss Learn, for the comprehensive summary. Friends, do not forget to subscribe, like, comment and share the video with others. Learn Knowledge is all about education.